Scott Cooper. You just heard "Just a Lie." That's you can see that on YouTube. Just hit up
Nice
David
song.
Scott Cooper. The Lie. Yeah, it was kind of a long song, but it was pretty cool. It's good stuff.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
There's no lag in it for the length of the song. There's no lag. There's always something to listen to. You know?
Right.
Like,
Oh yes.
You know, like even Fate's Warning, slowest song, lasts 8 minutes long, but there's still something that just drags you into the song. you
Oh
know?
yeah, it keeps you.
Well, it's
keeps
kind
you
of
listening.
it's when you like the song, it's not too long. When you don't like the song, it's not short enough. So that's like
Yeah, if you don't like a song, it's like, okay, is this over yet?
so that's what that boils down to, I think. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Before that, you heard the Las Vegas theme song by a band called 770X. That's the only rock song they did. They're kind of like guy's got a little bit of a country vibe to him. He did once. That was his demo. That was a demo song that he did, and we use it a lot for. It's a pretty good song.
Yeah.
Use it a lot for my shows anyway. Brian Richard from Van Dam, which is near Amsterdam. So yeah, he was. He's one of our very few hip hop independent artists that have signed up with us. And so we have quite a diversity of music. We're getting a little bit more broader on who we bring in and stuff, and which is a lot of fun, because it's all rock and roll, but it's not all rock. It's this one big music community that we're trying to bring everybody together with and stuff. So, which is the main purpose of the local uprising show.
Yeah.
Not just all metal, but because you could get some people, and they could have a good collaboration with whoever they're dealing with.
Yeah.
They meet here.
Anthrax and Public Enemy did it.
Yeah,
great
that's
track.
true. Yeah. Run DMC and
Aerosmith.
Aerosmith.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. But so Just a Lie. They've been an 8-minute song. So what? Tell me a little bit more about it.
Well, about the song itself.
Yeah.
That song, wasn't conceived originally. Like, hey, here's going to be an epic thing. I mean, it kind of turned out to be that way. I'm not saying it sounds like these artists, but in terms of the way it, some of the dynamics and some of the changes and whatever, it's kind of like a Freebird meets Meatloaf meets Guns N' Roses meets Layla kind of thing, where it goes and whatever. But it got longer, in production with ideas, and so it's lyrically, if somebody listens to the song, they may find resonance there where it has it's an expression. So that's what really all music is it's the universal language. And so when it's channeling through you, whether it's the words you write or the words you sing, the way what you're saying with your guitar, with the melodies, it's you're saying something that somebody else has felt before.
Right.
Music is therapy, and music is there to speak for you when you don't know what to say, but you're feeling it. And
Right.
That's my interpretation of music, and that's the benefit I've always gotten from music, and so it's important. And so that song has meaning, and for people that maybe have gone through something. It's a little insight into it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, music's always been a real big influence in my life, personally. Brought me through a lot of hard times, a lot of things. 'Cause, nobody really knows what path anybody's on, and music just some music can speak to them, some music just make them go off the deep end.
Yeah.
But it's how you take it, how you interpret it, what it means to you. And to me, it's just,
Yeah. Well, it's a life without
life.
music isn't much of a life at all.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, how
My
many times do you go in the
definition,
car and you don't hear anything at all day long, and then you just, I gotta hear something.
We're lucky, man. We live you know, we're alive in a time where, you know, in our lifetime, we've been on the planet at the same time as some true greats.
Right.
You know, icons that are bigger than icons, that are just titans, and you know, what would it have been what would it have been like to have shared the world with Mozart or Beethoven, or
Right.
you know, and how many other artists were there that, you know, were never recorded ever, and never to be known, but during their time. And so, you know, when we, you know, who knows what comes in 100 years or more, when they look back, there will be a time when they look back on this lifetime that we've had of, you know, the people saw Elvis live, the people saw the Beatles, that people even, you know, people saw Led Zeppelin. I mean, when you watch a YouTube video now and you watch any of those artists that you might like, you know, it helps you place yourself there a little bit. And even though you could never go see Elvis live, or maybe you couldn't see the Beatles, you know, maybe you're alive when they were around, but you didn't get to see it because you were 3 or 10 or something.
Really?
You know, that music is enough that they still touch you anyway.
Right.
And that's the power of it, man. You know, so it's, you know, for me, a little bit of history anyway. Grew up on music from, you know, my earliest memories, and you know, was writing when I was a teenager, and eventually, you know, at 17, I moved out on my own, and life got a lot more serious. And so, you know, within a couple of years, I had a job that would lead to my career in the nightclub business, you know, and as a DJ. And so I had to give up, you know, I had to put music, writing, any kind of writing or any aspirations on hold, and go and have a career. And so, you know, I would have ended up in LA, from Texas, where I was from. You know, I had offers to go to LA and join bands that were on the road, and I didn't do it. But, you know, it's interesting because you don't know where your life would have gone. And I have 4, you know, incredible kids that I wouldn't have had if I would have taken those other turns. So I don't ever second guess it or have any regret. You know, so when I came back into music, and truly to come in, you know, as an endeavor to become an artist, I was 45 years old. And
man, that gives me so much hope, man.
well, you know, it's interesting because if you were trying to do it without, if you had to do it depending on a label to get signed, and there was no internet, they wouldn't sign you at 45 years old. They wouldn't sign you.
Oh, hell no.
They might not even sign you at 25.
Nope.
Right.
And so, you know, the climate that we're in now is there's no better time to create your own deal, and it's interesting too because there's a lot of, you know, we see a lot in Vegas. There's a lot of middle-aged guys, men and women playing, and I look and I'm like, wow, they're incredible musicians, but I wish they would create
Their own stuff
instead of, you know, imitate. And it's not a friendly conversation to have because it hurts people's feelings. But I don't want to take anything away from anybody that's a cover performer, because there is no such thing as a cover artist or a tribute artist. There is no artistry when you're not creating. And
you are playing something somebody else played.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's cool. I know tons of people, and a lot of them call me friend. I call them friend too, and you know, and even for them, those that are my friends, I wish they were creating.
People get mad. I noticed that, and I mean, I'm sure that's the same way whatever scene you're in, but I noticed that though, because we'll have that conversation on Facebook or somewhere about, you know, hey, it's great that you do this, but you know, this guy just put out 10 songs on an original album, and people get like really upset about if you say something about a cover band. I love cover bands for the reason that I do like them old songs. That's fine. I mean, obviously that's why you're playing them, but when they can put somebody else on that's original on that bill, Puppet, Smashing Ellis, we brought them up earlier. I love everything they do. I'm not a big cover band guy. Look, I'm tired a lot, man. And I do love seeing you guys do some of them songs, but I actually saw them by the people that performed them a couple years ago. So but when they can put somebody else on, the original guys on that bill, because they do draw crowds. You know that. That's the thing.
I think that, I mean, it's what I'd really rather see, and you're right about that, but I'd rather see venues cater to original music. I'd like to see, you know, if you had a venue that primarily existed on, you know, on covers and stuff, and some original artists that have done stuff before come back in playing their stuff, I'd like to see one night a week dedicated to original artists. And the reason I'd like to see that Well, the thing that's really important about that is not just for us as you know, as end users, as fans going, cool, I want to hear it, is that that's how you build. It's not even just about building a scene, but you need a scene in order to facilitate development and growth. And so if you have a venue that really caters, and we do have some here that cater to it, Dive Bar really caters to it.
Yeah.
You know, there's some limitations there that I'd like to see, you know, overcome. But
Me too.
But I know, having been in the business, I know what you know, I know the challenges too, and so, but they're doing it and they stay true to it. I mean, Double Down does, you know, mostly, well, probably all original stuff actually. And so, you know, when you look at it,
It's a real big punk bar, right?
say
Yeah.
that.
It's a real
Well,
big
there's a lot of
punk bar.
different. I've seen different
They
things.
do
there,
a lot
so-
of stuff. They actually do. Who is it? Roberto. He does. They actually have their own radio network, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
he just broadcasted. He sent me something last night. Roberto Garcia. That's who it is. He does DJing over there and stuff like that. But he was on air last night. Sent me some. They do have. I believe now. Double Down is. There's a couple of them around. Not just here, right?
I think they're an independent, but you know the thing about the original stuff is that if you have an original night, what you're really talking about is artist development, artists that are developing because they have a venue to grow in. And so, in other words, you have a place to go and throw your stuff up against the wall and see what sticks, and try your stuff.
Right.
And that's what's lacking, is that you need a place where, you know, I'd rather. There are bands whose music I don't like, but I go and support their shows. You know, because it's not important that I'm their fan; it's important that I'm supporting.
And
Right.
you
And,
are. That is one thing I will say about you. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
The first time I met you, I was like, man, fuck that guy in his hair. But over the last 2 years,
Who's he with?
over the last 2 years though,
Who's he play for?
always been nice to me, has talked to me, whether he's performing, and that Billy Idol shit at that damn Fort Queens the other night, bro.
Oh,
Holy crap in
yeah.
hell, that was kick ass. I forgot to say that. That was freaking
You're
sick.
way too kind on that one.
No, dude, that was good, man. Hey, look, I've seen Billy Idol live, bro. That was just good. That's all I'm gonna say.
At least he remembered all the words. Billy Idol forgets half his words.
You know what, man? If you really you watch a lot of there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. You see it on Facebook. Almost every real show, you know, that you'll see, there's teleprompters for everybody, because
Right.
You know what happens, man, is it's not as simple as just remembering your words. Like, oh, you don't know your own words, but it's all the other stuff you're thinking about when you're on stage. And I was reading a Robert Plant interview the other day from a recent interview, and he's talking about it, that he always had trouble remembering the words, even Stairway to Heaven. And
Wow.
just because when you're on stage, there's so many things that you're getting a lot of energy, you know, cast upon you, and you're also emoting and putting forth energy, but you're also, you know, you have so many involuntary reflexes that are all simultaneously, you know, vibing off each other and occurring, where you're hearing stage sound, you're hearing mains, you're hearing audience, you've got these visuals, you've got people in front of you, you know, connecting and you know, doing stuff, and then you've got timing, and you got all this stuff. And so, you know, the words can be like muscle memory to a point, but there can be one distraction that throws you out of the moment, and you're like, what, you know,
That's
what's
like
the
me
word?
trying to.
And so
pretend I
really,
can
it's really
sing.
teleprompters, all they're really for, because if you look at the placement of teleprompters, they're on the ground, they're like in wedge monitors, basically. And so they're there as not as a crutch, because unless you can't remember the words at all and you have to read, but if you watch any
It's
real
a
artist,
reminder.
it's just a reminder, like, okay, you know what, it's good to be able to have that go-to if you're, you know, okay,
Right.
cool, what was that, all right, cool, and, you know,
I've
you're
sang
not
this
even,
song 12,000 times. What verse was I on?
yeah, I mean,
Honestly, I mean-
you could be thinking about, you could have a sick child at home,
Right.
and be thinking, you could be preoccupied with some issue, and so that's the thing about it. But, you know, getting back to the original stuff is just that, in my own particular experience, from coming back to music after, you know, hadn't even really done anything for 12 years, you know, hardcore, like nothing. I just had okay, my ship has sailed already, can't do that. And I'd had bands before, and so when I came back into it, you know, I've been in Vegas 16 years, and so I didn't really know any musicians here. And I knew one guy that really was kind of the inspiration for me to move to Vegas a long time ago, and I hadn't kept up with him, so I didn't know where he was or anything. But when I got back into music, I didn't know any musicians. So when I hit some of the clubs and stuff, it was meeting people, and it wasn't long before people were completely kind of trying to evaluate it, sort of put me in a box of like, okay, who are you? And you look like you look like this, so why do you look like this? And well, how do you have the right to look like this? How do you?
I'm still pissed about your hair, dude.
Well, you know what I mean. I've
assholes. Everybody's got hair around me, but
I've had long hair, short hair. You know, more than once each time, each way, and you know. But I've gotten a lot of crap for, you know, like, who do you think you are? And you haven't paid your dues. And you know, it's funny because I never really get to answer all these things, but. You know, if I did, you know,
that's
like,
all you'd be doing. Is
who have I paid?
Shit.
Who am I supposed to pay my dues to? Who's the due master that
Me.
I'm supposed to be paying? And right. You know, like I kind of look at it. It's such an insular little, cliquish little kind of a scene that. What's sad, man, is that you've got a bunch of people, and not all of them. There's a lot of killer people that they make up this scene, and then there's enough of the people that. Really don't have their head on straight, and they're worried about.
And those couple are right in the middle of the top of the scene, and they make other things harder for everybody else.
You know, without even, I mean, I've seen a lot of it, and you know, never need to name any names. I always hope that people can evolve, you know, and
right.
But
even though
I've had to put up with a lot of bullshit. I'll just tell you that,
right.
And you know, I've had a lot of sabotage. I've had a lot of stuff happen to me that. You know, I never even thought of myself as a big deal, and I still don't. But I
do.
You know, well, what I'm saying is, I just came back in for me, and you know, I'm not in a cover band, so I'm not trying to take somebody's gig. I'm not trying to take money out of their
You're
pocket.
doing what you want to do, though. At this point, that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean,
that's where it's going to be better.
I'm just
you're
being
doing
me.
it for the love of it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you're not making millions of dollars doing it.
Yeah, I'm not
but
making
you're
any money
doing it
by
for the love of it, and that's the people that make the difference in
I
the
mean, I've
scene.
never
to make
in my own music. I've never been paid for it. I paid to do it, and but what I will say with this, as far as cover bands go, again, a lot of cool people in cover bands that I know. So I don't want to say things that are going to make somebody in the cover band think, oh, this guy, you know, whatever.
Don't worry, I'll be the bigger dick one.
No, but I'm just speaking for myself. And
Right.
I hope anybody that does know me that's listening understands where this is coming from. Is that the only real competitiveness that I've seen, and the only competition I've seen, has been from some people who are in the cover scene, and because they're thinking about it. And the reality is, I don't know if there's an insecurity there or what there is, but I've had a lot of people like, you know, well, people don't like you because of your hair. They don't like you because of your car. They don't like you because you've got, you know, women. They don't like you because you've got clothes or whatever it is, whatever they don't like.
them jealous people.
Yeah, but you know, I can't even just leave it like, well, screw them. I mean, I don't want them to feel that way. I don't want, but I can't control how they feel. But I got to be able to. I got to live in my skin.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, yeah.
you know, I've had stuff put online that says I can't sing. I'm terrible. I can't. You know, I've overheard phone
Man,
calls.
who the hell
people,
did that? Give me their name. I'll get them right now, bro.
Nah. You know, it's
You don't have to. I will.
Again, it's all information. It's somebody's, and they're entitled to their opinion. But it's sort of like the access thing of like, hey, we don't think this person is good enough, so we're going to deny them the ability. And what I look at is, I'm going, you know what? If I thought somebody wasn't very good, but I could see that they wanted to be, I'd be trying to figure out how to help them become better.
Right.
You know, like, how do I help this person to network?
Instead of tearing them down.
How do I get them on stage with better people so they can rise up by playing with better people that can
Right.
teach them something, or whatever the case may be. And so that's what I think is wrong with the scene, if I were going to talk about it. And, you know, I am talking about
And
it a
I
little
do
bit.
want, you know what, that's the thing is, we don't bullshit on this show. People, we need, and the musicians included, need to listen to, you've got experience, man. And you are here talking about what you feel about and what you've seen.
Yeah,
and
well,
people should, I mean, I'm not saying they need to listen to it like gospel or nothing, but listen, just like you're saying, you listen to the people that complain about you and don't like you,
Sure, yeah.
listen.
Well, you know, if
Soak
it's,
it
I mean,
up.
if I, you know, I grew up, man, like the first thing I remember musically for myself was, you know, standing on my parents' king size bed. I'm like 4 years old, 5 years old, and I'm holding the hairbrush, singing Johnny Cash. And if
Man,
Johnny,
you got video of that, bro? We'll put it on the YouTube
I got a lot of
channel.
video. I got a lot of video stuff that would along those lines. But you know, but if Johnny Cash said, you know, you don't have what it takes, you should never try it, it would have broken my heart, man. And
Right.
Johnny Cash would have never done that.
He would,
anyway.
yeah, exactly.
That's kind of the point I was going to make, is that artists, people who are writing, one thing about art, man, is you're vulnerable. And that's your vulnerability, is your beauty. It's your
Because you're putting your heart out there, whatever it is.
Yeah, you're really putting it out there, and you're putting it out there for people to, you know, accept, embrace, dismiss, piss on, whatever they're going to do. And you got to be okay with whatever the fuck is going to happen from that. And so the point is that your vulnerability is your real strength, man. A blade of grass doesn't grow up through the soil worrying about whether it's going to get mowed down or stepped on or, you know, pissed on by an ant or whatever. It's just going to grow. A flower is going to bloom in spite of the surroundings.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, when it comes to this, it's the real artists out there, they don't act like that. And so I've seen a lot of support from real artists that, you know, they get it and they know. And I've met a lot of big people in my life, and they're never like that. And so that's the thing I think locally could be better. But anyway, aside from that.
Hey, you know what, though? We're going to fix that, though. Because we're talking about it, and people are going to listen. Now, the people that don't want to listen, and F you. Hey, guess what? F you twice, okay? Because the fact of the matter is, what you're talking about, what we do, it's about making this scene better, because it's only going to make it better for you. It's going to make it better for the next band.
Well, you know what's important about all of it, man, as you think about it, is that what's really going on, man, is that music, live music, original music, human-created, human-inspired music, you know, is what it's about. And computers, artificial intelligence, no, it's real. I mean, you know,
they screw up everything because they go with the noises you hear in your head that you like.
Artificial intelligence is going toward and getting to the point where computers can write songs, computers can write melodies.
Terminator.
Computer will be able to sing for you. I mean, you take auto-tune technology and you take every voice, you know, they're scalable, so they know.
Off of that.
Well, what I'm saying is that we're not far away from, you know, 10 years is maybe not unrealistic to think that you can go and say, computer, write me a song.
About this.
You know, the computer says, sing into me and let me hear what you sound like. Computer emulates what you're going to do, and there's your hit. And EDM as a genre, you know, not picking on EDM or anything, but it's so simplistic. It's still music and it's still written. There's somebody still composing it.
Right.
But it's fairly simple. It's mostly repeated vocal melody, repeated, you know, song melody, and, you know, not a lot else going on. So you don't have like 3 or 4 hooks in a song. You have like one, which is really kind of pop oriented, but it's like pop on Benadryl, and it goes on and on. I mean, that's not what analogy
It's
it
the
is,
same thing as a slot machine.
And there comes a point when
the slot machine, you hear them noises and they put off.
Well, you got to figure when you've got 350,000 people on average that come out for the Electric Daisy, you know, carnival or whatever it's called.
You got to give a hats off to them, man.
No, but what I'm saying is that when you can't get a rock band to pull that off, I mean, it's not saying it couldn't happen, but what I'm saying is that thing happens like clockwork every year. And what I'm saying is that's what people are into, a lot of them, and that's because that's the kind of the expectation. And so I'm just saying that people that are writing and playing instruments and really composing, you know, that's the stuff I want to see more of. And so to me, you know what, like I said, man, I don't care if I'm the fan of a kind of music. If I know somebody and I know they're coming from the heart and they're struggling and they're out there doing it, I'm going to go to their show. And even if I'm just a warm body in the place and I'm another person that shares their stuff on Facebook and I shake their hand and I give them a hug, and you know, that's what it's about. I can't say a lot of them have done it for me, and I don't even scale it that way. Like, well, if you haven't done it for me, I'm not going to do it for you. I just keep on doing it because I'm really doing it for a bigger reason.
Right.
And that's what it's about. So I think that, you know, I've been happy to see on, you know, Facebook that there's a lot more of these shows that are happening, and I haven't really had a chance to listen to any of them. It's the first one I've ever been invited to participate in it. So it's, you know, thank you for that. It's really nice of you guys to have me here.
Oh, hell no, dude. We've been wanting you on
for a while.
We're both.
Like, I gotta get this guy on the show or something, because you know, see what you're all about and everything. And that's
I like what he was about just because he was nice to me. I mean, if anybody's nice to me, that's a great
I've
thing.
heard him sing before and everything, so it's just.
I've seen him actually
just promoting the local scene.
Thanks, man.
Everybody loves to have him up, though. Yeah. Don't like. I have seen. I don't know how many bands.
I've been banned from a place or two. You know.
I don't know how many times I've seen. I've seen him with everybody else.
Oh, wow.
That's how I know David. Besides meeting him at Vamped, is from singing, coming up and doing a song with somebody, coming up and doing, and it's just like, God damn, he's good. Yeah. This has been another man. This has been.
I know
a
you guys
really
got to
weird
wrap up.
song.
You got other people waiting. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
We have
Actually,
Aaron
we do.
Manfredi over here running for public administrator.
Yeah.
You people better
Yeah,
recognize. I'm gonna find out what public administrator means, and we're gonna tell you too.
Yeah. You'll finally know, and then you can go to your own city administrator. So,
Yes.
Now I know what you do.
And you need a guy like this. I'm telling you right now. Wait till you meet this guy.
So
David
I'm
Cooper
gonna,
kicks
I'm gonna
ass.
play some. I'm gonna play some CC Storm and some Second Echo, and then we'll be right back with the next guest. Thank you, David.
And
Cooper,
also we
for-
have Casey and Carmen here
Thanks everybody for listening.
from Second Echo already. Showed up an hour